What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about my desk setup for 2022. Hope you enjoy. What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day, evening, night, wherever you reside on this planet Earth. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. We're going to be talking about my desk setup for 2022, and for those of you who may not know me, allow me to preface. My name is Vieira. I am a full-time graphic designer and content creator. With these two focuses, it requires a lot of keeping up with my peripherals, my kind of workstation, if you will. A lot of it tends to obviously be desk work. So as time goes on and my skill set begins to change and evolve, my desk needs to do the same. Looking back at my previous setups back in the day and what I had to work with was just a ragtag team of things. And I think we can all kind of relate to this in some way. And it's just cool to see how over time these things get to change and morph into something new, and having that opportunity to kind of look back is always a good feeling. A lot of the things you're going to see in this video is still kind of that same idea. A lot of these things that I've had have been something that I've gotten years in the past, and they still work, and I don't really see a need to change them, but I do have the desire to do so at some point. Before I start listing off all of the items that I use for my desk setup, let me just preface that I probably will get the names wrong for some of these things, so please don't come at me in the comments or something like that. Just deal with it. So without further ado, let's get into the items. I'm currently using the Ameriwood Home Dakota L-shaped desk with the bookshelf attachment on the side. The top itself is a Sonoma oak, along with the sides being a white finish. I bought this desk back in 2017 on Amazon for about 180 bucks, I want to say. It's held up pretty well. I could tell it is a bit on the cheaper side, but I haven't really seen a need to get one. I do have intentions to do so, but I think it's been holding up pretty well. And for what my current setup is, due to the fact that this desk is in my room, I needed something that wasn't too wide in terms of the tabletop itself and wasn't an L-shaped desk. So this was honestly a perfect fit for the relatively small room that I have. In terms of cable management, lucky enough, the desk itself actually has a backing to it, so a lot of the wires actually do get hidden, and I tried my best to zip tie and Velcro a lot of the wires together to kind of minimize the amount of clutter that may be behind there. If you look at it from certain angles, you'll definitely be able to see a lot of the flaws in the cable management, but for the most part, when you're in and out from this desk, you kind of just forget about them, to be honest, and there's no perfect way to do cable management, so I think what we have is pretty good. Moving on to the computer itself, I tend to be a Apple junkie, so I love their ecosystem. I'm hooked onto it. There's really no way I can really get out of it from this point, so I'm currently using a 27-inch 5K Retina display iMac. In terms of specs, all of those will be listed on screen now, so you'll be able to take a look and see what the computer has in store. Now, with any desk setup, the most pronounced feature will be the monitor layout. So for mine, over the years, I've had a few different monitor setups, and I felt like the most convenient and the best for my workflow was actually having the two horizontal monitors stacked on top of one another and then one vertical on the side. I find that being able to browse the internet on that vertical monitor tends to be a lot easier, while having the main monitor, of course, being the iMac, to be able to do a lot of my design work and video editing while having the less important things on the top monitor. The monitors themselves are an LG and an Asus monitor. These two monitors are just ones that I've picked up over the years, and I'm still using them to this day. The only issue with these monitors, however, is the fact that yes, they are a bit on the older side, and also the color accuracy is definitely off when it comes to these monitors. So I try to do all of my color correcting and things like that on the iMac itself, even though I know it's not 100% correct either. But I think for the time being, in terms of being consistent, I try to stick to the iMac itself for all of the color tweaks, so that across my own projects, I know I'm being accurate. Hopefully one day I'll actually be able to pick up 3 of the same monitors that are all color accurate and with relatively low response time. The only one that actually has a low millisecond response time is actually the Asus monitor, and I can't actually game on that monitor, of course, because it's in a vertical format. So kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now let's talk about the different devices and controllers on my desk. In terms of the keyboard, I have an AnyPro 2. Shout out to Kyle for this one. He's one of my good friends and he actually let me have his old keyboard. So shout out to you, appreciate you, brother. I am aware that you are able to use this keyboard wirelessly and actually through multiple devices. However, unfortunately with this one, it has some trouble with Bluetooth. So I find just having it wired just makes it the easiest and most consistent. But I suspect moving forward at some point, once I pick up my own mechanical keyboard, that I'll have something that allows me to switch inputs. Moving on to the mouse, I use the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse. This is kind of the industry standard mouse at this point, especially when it comes to designers. I love the way it kind of fits in the hands and all the extra little features that it provides with the side scroll. Makes it super easy to be able to scrub through footage if we're editing a video or to actually zoom in on certain projects in Photoshop. You may also notice the design tablet that's sitting on the desk. That is the Huion Inspiroy. I believe it's very difficult to pronounce. The H1060p design tablet. I probably got that totally wrong. Please don't sue me. But this was a gift from my girlfriend, so again, shout out to you as well. This makes it super easy and efficient when it comes to creating emotes that I sometimes do on stream for friends and clients, or for just sketching out certain ideas or logos if we're doing some branding work. Finally, we have the Scuf Gaming Vantage controller. I actually just picked this up very recently because my old one was starting to kind of give out on me a little bit. It's been a ton of fun. I am a gamer at heart, so being able to have those extra paddles on the back are super, super important and fits my competitive needs when it comes to gaming. Moving on to the mousepad, I have the SubZERO soft mousepad, and it is a 18x16 mousepad, and it's great just because I have that extra room to be able to obviously move the mouse in my arm. And I think moving forward at some point, I definitely want to get a much larger one that actually spans across the entirety of the desk. But for right now, I think the 18x16 works great. Next, we have the boom arm that actually holds the camera that's currently recording me right now. I actually have a dummy camera that is my Nikon D200 that was actually a gift from me. Maybe at some point we'll actually do like a comparison video where we have the new camera versus the old camera, and we'll see kind of how they compete with each other. So potentially be on the lookout for that video moving forward. But I just have that camera on there just to be able to kind of show you relatively what the setup will kind of look like had the camera actually be on there. But I'm currently using the Blue Compass boom arm. It does a great job being able to hold the heavy duty camera that is my Sony A7 Mark III and the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 lens. This camera body and lens, honestly, I feel like is a great all-around setup. It allows me to do photography and videography seamlessly, along with content creation in terms of streaming. This camera gets used a ton, almost every single day. So when it came to the price tag, at least for me, I'm the type of person where if I'm going to be using it a lot, it is a lot easier for me to put down the extra money. Overall pricing for this setup may be a bit expensive in your eyes. However, if you feel like you're going to use it every single day, it might be something worth considering. Moving on to the audio kind of section of this video, the microphone that I use for all of my streams and content and what's actually being recorded on right now, slightly off camera, is the Shure SM7B. This is the tried and true popular microphone that is out on the market now. A lot of people use it for podcasts and things like that, and then kind of voiceovers. I kind of fell right into the trap and felt that I kind of needed to. I'm sure that there are definitely better alternatives out there, and it is a bit on the pricey side, but I just felt that starting out from a Blue Yeti, which is still the tried and true, probably best bang for your buck that I would say currently nowadays, I just felt like when it came to voiceovers, it kind of failed me in certain areas. So I wanted something that I know was reliable. I know that it was very popular, so it would be very easy to do research on and figure out any issues that I may be having. I kind of just fell right into just kind of getting the most popular thing. And I find that it has been doing obviously a great job in terms of creating content and for the streams. In order to power the microphone, I am using the Elgato Wave XLR. I didn't want to have a super big audio interface kind of sitting on my desk. I wanted something a little bit more minimal. And I know that I'm the type of person where if I were to go overkill with some type of audio interface, and once I have it set up and with all those extra dials and things, I find that I would end up not touching it ever again. You know, once you have your setup, there's really no reason to change it up too much. So I felt like it was kind of a waste to be able to have this big machine that can do all of these special things, but I would end up never using it. So that was the last thing that I wanted to end up happening. So I decided to just stick to something that was a lot more simple and I know would work. So I went with the Elgato Wave XLR. What's holding the microphone in place is the Elgato low profile wave mic. As you can tell, Elgato has a lot of great products. They solve a lot of issues that many content creators, streamers may be having at their desk. The low profile microphone was a perfect option for me because I'm the type of person that likes to have the mic be in front of me and a bit lower. You'll notice a lot of other streamers and content creators will also have their microphone coming up and over the monitors that they have in front of them. I didn't really like that look. I felt like it kind of blocked certain things. So I liked when my microphone and arm actually came in front of me in front of the desk. However, the problem would be having something that wasn't too intrusive and would actually block the view of the monitor. The Elgato low profile boom arm was actually a perfect option because it stays relatively low against the desk while also allowing me space to actually put my arm right underneath it to be able to move the mouse. And it doesn't really get caught on camera too much in terms of blocking any field of view. Now, in terms of other devices that I have on the desk that kind of just make my life a bit easier whenever I'm doing my work or streaming or creating content, whatever that may be. First off, we have the Elgato Stream Deck. This is kind of a must when it comes to streaming specifically, and I feel like any setup in general. The Stream Deck is very versatile. It allows you to do so many different things with just a touch of a button. And I find that the sky's the limit when it comes to the Stream Deck. Ever since I got it, I feel like at this point I can't not have it. It just makes life so much easier at the end of the day. In terms of storage and access points, I have the Seagate Backup Plus Slim 1 terabyte hard drive. It is a portable hard drive, of course, and this hard drive has gone through so much with me. I've had it for years on years. I actually have two of them, one as a backup and the other as kind of the main hard drive. I save everything to this hard drive so that if I actually were to take it and use it on my laptop at another location, I know that I will have all of my files with me and I will not have to worry about having to switch something over to my laptop. Everything should be on there because everything was saved onto that. Now, for more access points, of course, with all of these devices, there's a need for more connection to the computer. So I have the SABRENT. I definitely am getting that wrong. But it's a 7-port USB hub, and it just allows me to have 7 extra access points, and they actually each have switches, so I can turn each one off for some reason or turn something back on. The only problem that I actually have with this USB hub is sometimes when I unplug something from it or I plug something into it, everything loses connection for like a split second. So this is honestly a bit concerning when it comes to connecting my hard drive to this USB hub, only because I'm afraid that when the hard drive is actually disconnected for that split second, it actually doesn't eject properly. So I kind of have a mini heart attack every time because I feel like my files might get corrupted or something. So at some point or another, I do want to change this USB hub for something that's a bit more consistent and reliable in terms of plugging in and out certain peripherals. Now, in terms of the lighting setup, I have 2 Philips Hue light strips going across the top and the back of the desk. These 2 light strips allow for a nice ambient light for the desk below and a more practical light above. This light source has been really good for me when it comes to the streams. I feel like it kind of lights my face relatively evenly. Many may think that it may be a bit raw or exposed, if you will, the fact that there really isn't any diffuser going across it. I tried these sticker diffusers back in the day, but I felt like they kind of just kept falling off over time, and I just didn't really like having to maintain it. So for right now, it doesn't really bother me that you can actually see the individual LEDs. When they're on full blast, they kind of just seem like one solid bar anyway. So for me currently, it isn't really an issue. I find that this setup is very practical, and I didn't really want to have big light sources sticking out from the sides. I wanted something that was a bit more seamless, and I find that this light strip kind of does the job. Moving on to the smart device that actually does a lot of the controlling within this setup, and that is the 2nd generation Amazon Echo. I believe I got this way back in the day for some purchase that I made on Amazon Prime, of course, but it's very convenient being able to walk out of the room and kind of yell to turn off the lights and it just do it for you. I do also have the lights connected to my phone if I do need to do it from there, but most of the time I just yell at it to do it for me. Of course, we do need to talk about the chair itself. This is a chair that I got from a random department store at the time. I needed something that had this mesh breathable material and was relatively big for, I guess, my size. I am a bit tall, so I needed something that had some nice room to it. So I ended up picking this up many years ago, and I don't quite know the name of it, but it served me pretty well. The only issue with it, unfortunately, is it does make a bit of noise when I kind of rock back and forth. It's very creaky, so in the process of recording this video, I'm trying not to move too much because it can be a bit distracting. At some point, I would definitely love to upgrade the chair, but for the time being, this is what I have. I do have a 3-in-1 charging station, thanks to my lovely girlfriend, Vicky. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. This allows me to charge my phone, AirPods, and Apple Watch all at the same time. Very convenient, especially from a long day of just being out. All of your things, of course, dead. Come in, throw them all down, and kind of, go take a shower, go eat, or something like that. It's very convenient having that 3-in-1, and it does look aesthetically pleasing. Of course, we do have the reversible plushies, which do have an appearance on stream in terms of the viewing angle that you guys end up seeing through the camera. And I always have them stacked up in this orientation. Every once in a while, I'll kind of switch them up a little bit in terms of which side is which, but they're always kind of just sitting there in the back lines, kind of just either happy or a bit mad. Finally, we do have a nice scented candle, of course, on those days that I feel a bit more inspiring, if you will. It is a mahogany tea wood high intensity candle from Bath and Body Works, and I find that this scent kind of fits my style, and A, because it's black, and B, the scent itself. So I kind of just went with it. I'm no enthusiast when it comes to candles, but I felt like it kind of made the perfect fit when it came to my style and aesthetic. And that's pretty much it. That is the desk setup right now for 2022. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this desk has kind of evolved over time. So I didn't have time to kind of start completely fresh and just build out my dream setup, if you will. A lot of these items are just things that I had in the past and have brought over to this newest setup. It's not perfect. In some ways, there are definitely some flaws for sure, and I tend to kind of address those in the future as time goes on. And hopefully one day, potentially when I'm not in this room anymore and I have that blank canvas, I'll be able to kind of create that dream setup, if you will. And when that day does come, of course, you guys are going to be able to see that as well. But for right now, this is my desk setup for 2022. If you actually stuck around and watched the entire video, make sure to drop in the comments and type the word cotton candy. If you write that, I'll know it was you. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider it. If not, all good. I totally get it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Laters.